Galadriel's angry. Sauron killed her brother and then disappeared, an objectively annoying thing to do. After futilely searching for Sauron, Galadriel's boss punishes her by sending her to heaven. But Galadriel doesn't want to go to heaven, so she literally and metaphorically jumps ship before sharing a raft with an unsuspicious man who introduces himself by saying,
"Looks can be deceiving.
Don't worry about it." They're rescued by a powerful seafaring people called the Numenorians. This is Elendil. He's Aragorn's great-great 40th degree grandfather. In The Lord of the Rings, Aragorn likes to shout his name before jumping off stuff. They meet the Queen of Numenor, who's anxious because she senses bad omens. And she's right, because on the other side of the world, a naked man falls from the sky. He's found by someone who's definitely not a hobbit, because we didn't license the word hobbit, okay? These not hobbits are called Harfoots, or I suppose Harfeet. The Harfeet are a peaceful, itinerant people who survive by abandoning their sick and wounded to the elements. It sounds harsh, but they sing cute songs about it.
Nobody goes off trail. That's right. Nobody goes off trail.
We discover that Naked Man is a magical amnesiac searching for a mysterious land. Why didn't his meteor just drop him off in this mysterious land? Don't worry about it. But things turn ominous when 3 sorcerers begin tracking him. Back in Numenor, Unsuspicious Man reveals that orcs invaded his home, a place called the Southlands. This mention of orcs gets Galadriel horned up because it's just the type of lead she's been looking for, damn it. I don't want to sound too sarcastic. Most Rings of Power videos are either so unnervingly positive they feel like hostage tapes, or are so negative it's like the show murdered their dog. So I'm gonna try very hard to keep my tone somewhere between murder and hostages. But speaking of hostages, the Numenorians imprison Galadriel because she keeps threatening to kill people.
Suppose the words never manage to escape your throat.
But she eventually convinces their queen to send aid to the Southlands. Okay, there are really only 3 people you have to care about in the Southlands. This guy's name's Arondir. He's like an elf chaperone making sure the Southlanders don't get too handsy with the orcs. Arondir wants to bone this lady because she's nice and she never calls him knife ears.
Oh, let it go, knife ears.
This is Nice Lady's son, Theo. He's notable because he used to be sort of annoying, but now he's fine. Just like Not Suspicious Man said, orcs have invaded their home. The leader of the orcs is called Adar. Adar is the elvish word for father, so he's basically daddy. Orc daddy. Like any good father, Orc Daddy wants to provide a home for his orc children. He's searching for a magical sword that can somehow turn the Southlands into their homelands. He finds the sword, and all seems lost when Galadriel and the Numenorian army arrive. They capture Daddy and his sword. Daddy then explains 3 important things. 3 important things. He used to be an elf, he used to work with Sauron, he killed Sauron. Everyone's very happy until they realize that Daddy Ocean's 11'd them by handing the real sword to a mean grandpa. Mean Grandpa uses the magical sword to transform the Southlands into Mordor, as explained by this smooth PowerPoint text transition. I'm sorry, that was sarcastic. The show didn't murder my dog. Galadriel eventually finds Elendil. Ow. But Elendil is sad because his son, a lowly stable sweep, is lost and presumed dead. Elendil blames Galadriel for this, instead of the queen who needlessly sent an untrained stable sweep into a battle they were already winning.
Go.
As the Numenorians sail home, Galadriel discovers that Not Suspicious Man got a not suspicious wound. Despite being on death's door, he's able to ride his horse for 6 days without rest. A direct quote. They arrive at Galadriel's boss's house. He's still mad that she never went to heaven. Also, he sent her to heaven because he knew that if she stayed on Middle-earth,
she might have inadvertently kept alive the very evil she sought to defeat.
maybe something it would have been good to tell her, but water over a cliff. The boss's main source of consternation is that the elves are mysteriously dying, but he has a hunch that a substance called Mithril can stop their death. I'd pause here to tell you that this is made up for the show, but unfortunately everything I've said to you so far is inconsistent with Tolkien's world. Focus on the happy thoughts, Johnny. Happy, happy thoughts. He thinks that with enough Mithril, their smith Celebrimbor can forge a device to keep the elves alive. The problem is that all the Mithril is controlled by the dwarves, and young Elrond's attempts to treat with the dwarves have proven unsuccessful. As Celebrimbor continues forging, Galadriel begins to notice that unsuspicious man is actually suspicious. She confronts him, and after lightly probing, discovers he's Sauron. Instead of immediately warning the elves they've been wining and dining the greatest living threat to Middle-earth, she keeps it to herself because she's embarrassed they almost boned.
I felt it too.
Galadriel then makes the questionable decision to continue forging the 3 rings Sauron was helping to design. On the other side of the world, Naked Man learns he's a wizard and defeats the 3 sorcerers with his catchphrase,
I'm good.
before journeying with Not Hobbit to the far east. In summary, Rings of Power murdered my dog.